Hey guys, Ronnie Reaper here. Yep, you know the drill. Outside the cinema, it's a fairly wet day, so prime day for a nice little cinema trip. So I'm about to head in and see Argylle, the new action comedy spy film from Matthew Vaughn. I do enjoy Vaughn's films. I really like Kingsman, love Kick-Ass, and X-Men First Class. So yeah, I'm expecting hopefully a half decent time. Really good cast in this. So yeah, I'm hoping for a good, fun little comic spy thriller. So I'm gonna head in, get my snacks, get my seat, and go see Argylle. So yeah, I've got my popcorn here and a blue frozen Fanta, ready to meet the real Agent Argylle. Hotly anticipated film I see. So yeah, just back from meeting the real Agent Argylle. Yeah, the footage you saw of the empty screening, yeah, it filled up a bit more. Only about 10 more people. If other screenings are following this pattern, this thing is fucked box office wise. But still, I was kind of looking forward to this. I was just expecting something, a half decent little spy thriller with a bit of a comedy element to it. And yeah, I do like Vaughn's films. He does have a bit of a knack for delivering straightforward genre thrills with a bit of a comedy element to them, whether it be like Kick Ass or the Kingsman movies, or playing it a bit more straight with X-Men First Class. So yeah, I was just expecting a decent little spy thriller from this, but is it? Let's find out. So in the film, we meet Aubrey Argylle, a top secret agent on a mission in Greece. However, he soon discovers that the very agency that he's been working for has betrayed him. However, none of this is actually real, instead existing in the pages of a spy novel written by author Ellie Conway. However, Conway's writing ends up playing a little too close to real life espionage events and soon finds herself caught up in an incredibly messy world of spycraft and rogue agencies, with the only man she can trust being secret agent Aidan Wilde. So, yeah, look, I don't envy any American viewers who have had to sit through this trailer before like every film ever in the last year. But obviously here in the UK, actually didn't really get the trailer, so yeah, I didn't have the full Argyle experience, unfortunately. But I was still kind of expecting, just a half decent, little bit of fun spy action. Yeah, Matthew Vaughn has done that well in the past, and I gotta say, it is kind of in small doses. Like, yeah, it's not very good, but it certainly has its moments to it. Like, first of all, I've got to address the elephant in the room. The film is way too long. Like, I'm very much of a belief that, any film can be any length as long as the runtime is used well. Like, a really long movie can feel really short if it's, paced well and is, written well. And unfortunately, I don't necessarily think this justified having this insane runtime. This is just pushing 2 hours and 20 minutes. This is 2 hours 19. And for context, this is 8 minutes shorter than Mission Impossible Fallout. Another Henry Cavill spy thriller. But whereas that movie used its long runtime really well, is incredibly well paced. Not a single second of it fat. This feels weirdly kind of baggy. It feels kind of padded out with these really long, like, exposition dumps that basically just sort of serve to explain stuff to the audience. And I get it, we're over in a very naughty world here of, moral ambiguity. But, but I definitely feel like if you trim it down by about 20 or 25 minutes, there's probably a half decent cut here that flows a lot better. And it's a shame because, like, there are moments of inspiration in here. Like, the action scenes are certainly entertaining enough to watch. Like they're fairly well choreographed and got dynamic camera. It's very much Matthew Vaughn action scenes, and there are certainly some very inspired images there that are very memorable, including a sequence later on involving a long corridor full of colored smoke and set to a cover of Snow Patrol. It's a very fun scene. The problem is, some of it though is let down by some really shoddy green screen work. Like you have to understand, this thing overall cost 200 million. A portion of that being this movie's budget, and whatever portion of that 200 million deal Apple paid for went towards the budget. It's way too much. Because if you're spending this much money and you can't even convincingly do green screen backgrounds in 2024, you got to go back to the drawing board. Honestly, there are certainly some very terrible CGI moments as well. Notably, there are some really naff moments with the cat looking very digital. Obviously, there are moments where the cat is real, but yeah, the ones where you can very obviously tell it is CGI stick out like a sore thumb, and it kind of lets the film down a bit. Because cinematography wise, it's fine, but it's horrible visuals that kind of ruin any look it's going for. I mean, in front of those terrible digital backgrounds, we do have a fairly decent cast of performers. Like, I did enjoy the central dynamic of Bryce Dallas Howard and Sam Rockwell. In fact, the few moments where I actually did somewhat laugh, those were entirely down to him. Like, his comic timing is on point, and he's giving a very entertaining performance, and he's absolutely having a whale of a time. And he does have chemistry with Bryce Dallas Howard, although I found at points that her character Ellie Conway could get a little bit annoying, but it's balanced out by how much fun Rockwell is having as Aiden. And we also have a fairly solid ensemble around them as well. Obviously, we've got Henry Cavill as Agent Argylle. Terrible haircut aside, he is, very much selling the sort of suave gentleman spy thing very well. He's very charming. And he is in the film a bit more than you'd expect based on the things you've been hearing. He is a semi-recurring feature. And you've also got in these fictional segments, you've got the likes of John Cena, Ariana DeBose, and Dua Lipa. Again, they don't really do much, but for the screen time they have, they're fine. Although it is a bit of a waste of John Cena's capabilities as a comic performer, but Sam Jackson is having a lot of fun in his small role as the former director of the CIA. You've also got Bryan Cranston, sort of largely relegated to being stood around in an office barking orders at his subordinates as the villain in the sharp suit. He's selling it convincingly, to be fair, but it does feel a bit of a waste of his capabilities as a performer. There are also some kind of funny moments with Catherine O'Hara as Ellie's mother. So yeah, it's a decent enough ensemble overall that does ensure that the story in parts is somewhat engaging, and it does somewhat give you a bit of a respite from the constant bursts of exposition. And soundtrack wise, you've got Lorne Balfe doing the score, and he's very much on autopilot here. Very unmemorable score. Aside from one moment where he straight up just rehashes his Black Adam theme. Like, yeah, it's a banger theme, but come on. But saying that, it's somewhat made up for by its music choices. You've got a bit of Barry White in there. It's a semi-recurring thing. And also a semi-recurring thing is that new Beatles song, Now and Then, the one with the AI John Lennon vocals. So, like, there is stuff here to be entertained by, but it's not enough to overcome the really baggy narrative, kind of messy, overlong runtime, and in fact, in the final act, it just kind of gets caught up in this web of twists. Obviously, the big one being very obvious, and yeah, weirdly, the reveal of the real Agent Argylle is kind of the least interesting part. Like, yeah, they made a whole big thing of this, and yeah, it just ended up kind of being a bit of a nothing burger, really. And yeah, overall, I think that's about what I have to say about Argyle. Overall, I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10. Yeah, it's entertaining enough in moments, but it's kind of a mess. And yeah, those are my thoughts on Argyle. Let me know down in the comments. Have you seen it? What did you think of it? What did you make of Cavill's role in the film in relation to how it was marketed as well? And do you think we'll be getting any of the planned sequels, including that supposed Kingsman crossover? Let me know all that down in the comments. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe button if you're new, and don't forget to turn on post notifications so you don't miss an upload.